Hello and welcome back to Wolfeei, because today we're going to be looking at Block Wars Hispano, or Spanish. Spanish Block Wars has been announced for like a week, and the teams were actually, or not a week, it's been announced for a while, but the teams were coming out over the past week, and I was waiting to talk about this event until the teams were announced, and they're announced, but also the event is today, so I guess if you want to watch this event, lock in, it's today. I think it's today at just the regular time. I'd actually have to check. Hold on. Ignore this. We'll talk about it in a bit. Yeah, Saturday, April 5th. So this would be 4 p.m. Eastern, I think. I could be wrong. I don't know. Anyways, oh, thank you, Java. Yeah, so the Block Wars Spanish event has been announced. I want to give some insight and some info regarding this regarding this event, because I think hasn't been that much explanation, so I'll try to give a little bit of behind the scenes. So, this is a separate thing from Block Wars, again, of course, called an invitational, whatever, the types of events you've seen the most recently with the Bobble one, the Gunda one, etc. This is, I guess, a VenCup specific, event for a Block Wars. It's not an official one, because as per usual, the rule of thumb is if the Block Wars account isn't making the posts for the events, like the team announcements, etc., then it's not an official Block Wars event. So that's one thing. So now you know that. And number two, I had no involvement with this. As you can see from this, Shadoune was actually the player manager for this, which, shout out Shadoune, by the way. I think this is one of the first times he's done something specifically like this, and it isn't easy, and now I have somebody to refer to that can confirm that, hey, this is pretty hard sometimes. So, but he did a good job, I think, overall, so good job. Shout out Shadoune, especially because, to my knowledge, the goal for this event was to keep it Block Wars-esque in the sense of lower-ish comp, make it like a friendly first event in terms of competition, and see if you can allow for, I don't know if it's variety, but more so, not a super sweaty event off-rip, which I think from the roster I've seen is mostly successful. Spanish events tend to be pretty high comp because there's a lot of really, really competent Spanish-speaking streamers, and they tend to, do pretty well in Minecraft events, especially in like the, Twitch Rivals events. I feel like there's always some pretty competent ones that make their way through until the very end, pretty much. And yeah, so that's the disclaimer. So Shadoune made the teams, did all the invites, and this is not an official Block Wars, it's a separate thing as per usual. So that's all you need to know. Then, I'll give you some context before I get into the teams. This is not a real team, of course. On April Fools, Shadoune posted 2 quote-unquote teams for this event. This one was the following, with Sapnap, Shadoune, Coldy, of course, 3 insanely good players, and then Ibai, Rubius, and Auron Play, who are 3 of the biggest streamers in the Spanish community at least. And I was fooled. I didn't think this was a joke at first. I thought I was just freaking out. I was like, hello? As much as this is not an official Block Wars, having these people at Block Wars would be insane. But obviously, we've been fooled, we've been tricked. And then also, Shadoune posted this team. Obviously, this was a joke. But just imagine, hey, Shakira? I'm just kidding. This also is some of the biggest streamers, I think, from the Spanish scene. And then Shakira, which, of course. Anyways, so the teams have been announced, the official ones. I'm going to use the VenCup account to go through them because this one has them in order, essentially. I think here, this is the actual announcement. The 10 p.m. Spanish time, which is 10 p.m. my time, which is 9 p.m. UK time, 4 p.m. Eastern time, just in case you want to watch this, if you understand Spanish. So now on to the actual teams. This is the red team. Now, if I'm going to be fully honest, I don't really know everybody, of course, right? I know some people from the Spanish community. I don't know everybody. Not nearly everybody. I know very few people. However, this one is a team where I do recognize a good amount of people. Kendo played in Block Wars with Shadoune, actually on Shadoune's first event, on the first and I think only Spanish team we've done. I don't think we've ended up doing a second one just yet. So that's where Kendo came from, at least. Aquino and Soaring debuted in MCC Party 2, and they ended up doing pretty well. Pili is from the Realm, so you'll probably be familiar with Pili, D-Town Cat, and I'm not familiar with Astaius or Astaius, this person. I don't know who this is, but I'm sure they're great, so there you go, that's the first name. And from this, you can kind of tell that I don't think this is very high comp just yet. I mean, Aquino in MCC ended up placing, like, I think in the middle, so I assume he's probably the top player on this team, or the second player on this team, and yeah, so that's that, sorry. Next up, though, is Orange, Equipo Luchadores, which consists of Nanda Tayo, not familiar, Mictia, I recognize, Gab, of course, we love Gab, yep, Lauson View, I fucked it up so bad, and then Nicole Diaz, which I'm not familiar again, I'm sorry. This seems like a fun team. To my knowledge, I'm fairly sure this is a full Venezuelan team. Am I right? I heard somebody say that this is a full Venezuelan team. I'm so wrong. So sorry if I'm wrong. But I think it's correct. I don't know. Either way, it should be a fun team to make an appearance in the event. I am looking forward to it. Next up is Grupo Relampagos. Or Relampagos, I don't know. Which consists of Lenier, not familiar, Juan SG, which I'm also not familiar with, Elded, who is the person behind Detsavio events, Churro X, or Akis, is also someone I'm not familiar with, and Charlitos. I think I've heard of Charlitos before, I just don't know for sure who that is. So I'm only familiar with Elded here, but seems like a fun potential team. I mean, Elded looks ecstatic in this picture, so there you go. Then next up, we have Equipo Gigantes, the Green Giants, of course, or at least Team Giants, which consists of Soy Pun. Soy Pun, I think, won the recent Squidcraft, if I remember correctly. They won one of the recent big Spanish Twitch Rivals events, at least. Amzet, I'm not familiar with. Aldo Geo is, what's it called? They were on QSMP. Purgatory or not, they were involved there. Phyllis GG, I've heard the name of before, and then Gamester, I am not super familiar with, but again, you kind of see like, oh, this is not like an insanely high comp team. I have no clue what the bouncing looks like. I don't think it really matters for the first event. As long as people get to play with their friends and you know, get to experience the event, I think that's mainly what matters. So yeah, next up, you have Equipo Arqueros, which consists of HD Le. I think I've heard of Le before. Maybe, I don't know. Rubik, which sounds familiar. Shadoune, of course, we know Shadoune. Enzi Chen, we know Enzi Chen, of course. And then with Zach, which, that's a Spanish person? Oh yeah, they are. Interesting. All right, well, there you go. That's the Aqua team. Next up, you have the Equipo Bandidos, which consists of Robleis. I don't know if that's how you pronounce that. I'm so sorry for anyone who speaks Spanish and me butchering everything. I'm trying my best, by the way. Then you have Bananiru, or Bananiro, which I am also not familiar with. Then Counterstein, of course. We know Counterstein. Spreen, which it's really funny seeing Spreen on an announcement, not in the middle. I'm fairly sure they use the captain system, where the main streamer invited their like friends along. But Spreen, of course, is like a huge streamer, so seeing him in the 4th slot is funny. But we know Spreen, of course. I mean, look at him. 6.1 million followers. Of course you know Spreen. And then Goncho, who I'm also not familiar with, but yeah, should be a solid team. Next up, you got Different, who was the sub-in for Farfadox in the Buy-in Battle Spanish team. Ender Tuki, I'm not familiar with. Chris Green, of course, we are familiar with. And then The Blazer, and then Montoya TR. Or is this not Montoya TR? Yeah, this is Montoya. I teamed with Montoya in one of the events. Hey, we love Montoya. He was great. He didn't really speak English very well, but it was fine. Also, this is Equipo Fantasmas. And then last, but certainly not least, is Equipo Guerreros, which consists of Ez Vendal. I'm not familiar with them. Kami Langa, not familiar with them either. Snap, of course. You know, we know who that is. Serpius, who played in MCC Twitch Rivals on the Spanish team, and then Rodezel, which, sure, yeah, I mean, this could be a pretty solid team. Sapnap, of course, is a good player, and yeah, we'll see how that goes, I guess. Anyways, those are the teams for the Spanish, or more so, Block Wars Hispano event that will be taking place today at 4 p.m. EST, so April 5th, 4 p.m. Eastern, in case you're missing when the actual event is. I'll pull up, ignore the team, but at the bottom here you can see the time zones. In case you are a Spanish-speaking person and you're from one of these places, that's the time. El tiempo is right there. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Hope you're excited, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.